and we will get going. You will need a roll today, or something that could fashion as a roll and a block. Let's start seated. Find a comfortable cross-legged position, maybe with something under your bottom. And as soon as you get comfy, change the cross of your legs. So put your non-habitual leg forwards. And then place your hands somewhere on your thighs or your knees and close your eyes. Slow your breathing down so it begins to feel like it has a calming effect. Or maybe more importantly, it makes you feel present with yourself. I think the first couple of minutes of the class are about switching off the noise. Maybe you need a big sigh out, shake out the shoulders. So, you know, how can you arrive on the mat? In fact, how willing are you to arrive on the mat, right? To let go of the busyness. Let's have a little feel around in the pelvic bowl, right? There is a sort of magical area just below the belly button, and it sits in your torso, your center around the lumbar spine, the actual vertebrae of L4, L5. They, if you could kind of picture them, they're sort of just below the belly button in front of the spine. Try to kind of think about this area as a place of feeling really centered and connected, and actually really powerful. I mean, this is where it all begins. If you can have that sense of being with yourself, right in the middle of yourself. Feels pretty supported. You take your next inhale, feel like you lift the rib cage away from this area, so you get some length. And as you exhale, feel like you stick your sit bones a little more consciously to the mat. Take your right hand and place it on the belly area in front of your belly button. And then take the left hand behind you to match that front hand in the back body. Now really breathe into your pelvic bowl. Maybe you feel the softness of your belly as you take an inhale. As you exhale, the belly draws slightly inwards. Maybe just the feeling of your hands there is supportive, right? It reminds you to lift and brighten the top of the body. Our intent this morning is really simple. We're going to just create a breath pathway to the pelvic bowl. So a consciousness of this area and feeling really centered and grounded through it. Take a final breath, really long, slow, lifting up towards your collarbones. And then sigh it out. Move the hands away from your midline and open the eyes. Brilliant. Come into Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together. Touching of the soles of the feet and then the toes slightly retract. So you've got a little activity there. Knees are open. There's a sort of softness in the hip flexors, which you have to kind of cajole into yourself. Take your fingertips behind you and press down so you lift your chest and have a little brightness there. Let's do a Shivananda pattern. So take a slow inhale, right? Really slow. And then hold your breath and soften your shoulders down. Start to move your hands forwards and begin to exhale out, coming into forward fold. Hold the breath on the exhale. Scoop your belly up for Uddiyana. Pull your chest through. Release the belly. Take an inhale and slowly come up to straight. So that's the pattern. We're going to do it 2 more times. Put your hands behind you. Lift your chest. Take a really slow breath in, opening the hips. Hold your breath, soften the shoulders. Let the neck be soft. Start to move your hands in front of you. Exhale out with a slow forward fold, no rush. With an empty set of lungs, hold the breath, scoop the belly up, Uddiyana. Pull your collarbones through, long back. Release the belly, take a slow inhale, come all the way back to straight. And then exhale out. Last round, fingertips behind you, push into them, lift your chest. Inhale really slowly. Hold the breath, soften the shoulders. Start to move your hands forwards. Exhale out on a forward fold. Hold breath on the exhale, scoop belly up. Vacuum for your Uddiyana. Lengthen the low back. Release the belly, take a slow inhale, come all the way back up. Very nice. Take your hands to outside edge of thighs, draw them together, shake it out. Going to come into shoelace. Okay, so pick up your right leg and place it in front of your crotch, but away from it. There's a big gap. And then pick up your left foot and hook it either on top of the knee or the thigh, or place it on a block. Just grab a block. Shouldn't be that far away. So it's no problem if you can't do the little stack, you can put your foot on the prop. What I'd like you all to do though is flex your feet and have a real sense of energy moving through the edges of the feet. Sit bones relax. Feel the outside edge of your left hip begin to really stretch out. Place your hand to the side of the hip on the right side. Let's do a side bend. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Push your bum cheeks down, reach into your side ribs with your breath. A little softness in the wrap of your shoulder. So as soon as you're in the side bend, there's a lot of magnification of the hip opening. And it gets quite intense quite quickly, so settle yourself down with slow breaths. You're just not going to get involved in the panic. You're going to feel for being struggle-free. Because it's just about breathing a little more slowly. Feel for the space you can create in the side of your waistline. Loosen off the jaw. We're going to do this top left hand, start to float it down to the floor so you diagonally frame your right thigh and the left foot. Take a breath up, inhale. Maybe a little more twist. And then I'd like you to fold forwards across the diagonal. Chin softens to chest, butt cheeks firmly rooted down. Reflex your feet, right? Notice how they can sickle and get a little soft. Slow breaths into the hip. So the hip obviously connects into the pelvic bowl. This whole area gets quite bound up. Think about the breath pathway into the pelvic bowl and what it might be offering. Big sigh out. Slow breath, come all the way up. Let's swap it out. Change the legs up. Take them out for a little shake, maybe a little thump into your left hip socket. Pick up your left leg, move it in front of you, but not too close to the groin. Stick your right foot on top. Little stacking of fire logs, right? Some yoga schools call this fire log. If you need to prop the foot on a little block, that works really nicely. Sit up tall, take a big breath in, left hand to side of hip. Reach your right arm to the ceiling. Think about pressing through the bum and then reaching away from that grounding point. So how distracted on a scale of 1 to 10 are you, right? I think of it this way. I think you do yourself a real dishonor to not try and catch yourself not being present. It's like you don't even value your time on the mat in the way that you should, right? It's like, oh yeah. So many things going on, I just don't have time for this. I do it all the time, by the way. You know, it's easy to get distracted. It's not a criticism. Notice your patterns though. What's going on in your hip and your pelvic bowl, not in your head? Lots to discover if you get some layers off in that area, I promise. Float the right hand down, frame diagonally the left thigh. Inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, fold forwards. Sometimes the intensity is required to bring you into your body because nothing else will work, right? The pose is a little easy. Ooh, so easy to get out of that space into your head. And your right hip is making quite a lot of noise. It's right there, you can't avoid it. Think about this. Take an inhale from right hip to right armpit, extend. Exhale, fold forwards even more, soften chin to chest. Big sigh out. Slow inhale, come all the way back up. Very nice. Take the legs out, shake. Dump into the hip. Abdominals, let's lie down. Elbow to knee moving into Brolga, right? Brolga's the one where you stick your foot into the inner thigh. You can keep your hand on it for support. And as you lift the opposite elbow, you traction. So you really push foot into thigh, hand foot, and you lift the extended leg up to ceiling. Let's start with knees bent, feet flexed or flaunted. Wrap your elbows. Cradling the back of the head softly, take an inhale into side ribs. Hold the breath, curl the tailbone. Exhale, reach to left thigh. Take the right leg out 45 degrees. Squeeze your right buttock, pull your belly down. Inhale back to center, big breath. Hold the breath, curl the tailbone, flatten low back. Exhale, reach to right thigh, left leg extends. Notice your left sit bone glute area, squeeze, pull belly down. Inhale back to center, huge breath. Soften the jaw. Hold the breath, curl tail, flatten back. Exhale, reach to left thigh. Right leg extends, toes are active, squeeze the butt, belly down. Inhale back to center, huge breath. Hold, curl tailbone. Exhale, reach to right thigh, left leg extends. Activate the glute. Lift your shoulder blades a little higher, belly down. Inhale back to center, moving into Brolga. Hold the breath, curl tailbone, reach elbows to left thigh. Right leg goes straight up to ceiling. Finish your exhale, wrapping the shoulders. Take an inhale, left hand grabs left ankle. Plug the foot to right inner thigh. As you exhale, push the two together, lift your right thigh up, belly down. Inhale, back to center, hands behind the head. Hold the breath, curl the tailbone. Exhale, reach to right thigh, left leg straight up. Finish your exhale, look at the ceiling. Take a slow inhale, right hand grabs right ankle. Push foot to inner left thigh. Hold it, wrap your shoulders, belly down as you exhale. Inhale back to center, big breath. Hold the breath, curl tail, exhale, elbows to left thigh, right leg straight up. Press your belly to the mat, feel the contents of your pelvic bowl activate. Take an inhale, left hand grabs left ankle, plug the two together. Inner thigh lifts up, push belly down. Inhale, back to center, huge breath. Hold the breath, curl tail, reach elbows to right thigh, left leg straight up to ceiling. Lift your right shoulder blade. Take a full inhale, right hand grabs the right foot, plug it to inner thigh. As you exhale, lift the left thigh, pull your belly down. And release, feet down, head, shoulders down. We're into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees open. Place a hand on top of each hip crest. Close your eyes. So what does it feel like now, that area just below the belly button? Have a little drawing of your attention to that space and breathe into it. Your kind of real bodily center. Just any residual tension in the shoulders and the neck and the jaw, let those go. Take the hands to outside edge of thighs, slowly bring the hips, knees together. Have a cork block nearby for bridge pose. Tuck the feet up to the buttocks, stroke the backs of them. Arms softly to side of body, inhale. Lift your hips as you exhale, right? Coming into bridge. Get a sense of, and this is like a full counter pose to abs. I always like to think of it like this, like what is this pose doing? So you just kind of felt for compressing and drawing in through the belly button area, and now you're opening it out. Like the length of your front of body from pubic bone to collarbones extends a couple of centimeters. Arc your breath into that space. And then turn your feet on a little more. Let's get hold of the block, place it under the sacrum. Come to rest down on it for supported bridge. Choose a height that's suitable, you know what feels good. Feels available. Walk your right foot more centered. Inhale, left knee to chest. Take the left leg straight up to ceiling. Just do a thigh traction. Take the left hand, grab a handful of the fleshy part of your thigh near the hip socket. And take exhale and lift the thigh flesh. It sounds a bit grim, up. Push hand into thigh, thigh into hand, scooping out the front of your hip socket. Keep breathing. Keep feeling for reaching through the ball of the foot. And release the left hand, bend the left knee and hook your left foot on top of the right knee for a hip opener. You might want to traction again, so that same left hand could grab, similarly, a handful of the top of the left thigh, push it forwards and slightly down, and then lift your breath into the left side of the waistline and the ribs. You really encourage your iliac psoas, which sort of scoots along the inner edge of the hip crest, to soften. Slow breaths. As you do this pose, what's the sensation of space around the pelvic bowl? It's like when you unglue some of the stickiness in the hips, there's more space in the center of you. Rub around the lips. Release the left hand if it was there, float the left foot to the mat. Put weight through it so you're consciously aware of it. Inhale, right knee to chest. Take the leg up. Spread your toes apart. Right hand grabs a handful of the right thigh. Exhale, push the thigh flesh up. Hand into thigh, thigh into hand. Breathe, right? Don't stop breathing. Have a sense of reaching into the front of your hip socket with your breath. Release the hand, bend the right knee. Hook the right foot on the left knee and open it up. Soften the hip flexor. Say that to yourself a few times, because sometimes we don't do it. You want to grab that handful of thigh again, slightly press forwards and down. Just to encourage the sensation of reaching some space into that tight area. It is tight, right? We spend a lot of the day sitting, either at a desk or in the car, whatever it might be. This area of the body just doesn't get stretched out. Slow breaths through the right side of the ribs and the waistline. Release your hand if it was there, float the right foot down. Inhale, lift your bum off the blocks, move it to one side. Pause. Take a breath through the front of your ribs, lift them up. Tuck your tailbone as you exhale, very slowly lower top, mid, low back, all the way to the mat. Take your feet as wide as the mat and knock your knees in together so they rest towards each other. And put two hands on the low belly. Just close your eyes. What do your hips feel like right now? You just tune into them. Maybe they're a little fizzy, right? They're kind of fizzing with some newfound sort of connection. Sometimes we need to take a moment to feel what's going on. Notice the differences. Hands move away, knees separate, roll onto one side. Press up slowly. Very nice. Come on to all fours. Let's do tabletop. We'll do some hip swirls, always a good one. So you're stacked in a little neat tabletop. Just start to move your hips side to side for a moment, like you're kind of popping your hip bone to either side of the room. And then bring a loop into this. Draw your bottom back to the left heel. Swirl it around. Do figure of eights. Come up the diagonal center. Roll your shoulders. An infinity circle. Bit of freestyle. Which part of this movement feels tacky, right? Like there's kind of gloopy bits. It's quite interesting to move on diagonal planes. I mean, another thing we don't really do in daily life, right? If you've been going around one way quite a lot, go the other way. And then come all the way back to center. Cat-cow tilts. Inhale, lower the belly down. Feel for that softening right in front of the belly button. As you exhale, press your center to the ceiling. Dip your chin, tuck tail. Couple more. Inhale, lower down. Really feel for softness. Exhale, scoop it up. Inhale, lower down. Soften the belly. Exhale, scoop up. And then come back to neutral. Let's do dolphin with the palms up. So grab your cork block at the front of your mat. Pick up your whole forearm, rotate it so the palm faces the ceiling, and place the hand so the little finger tracks the edge of the block. Do that with both arms. And then glance at your elbows. Check that they're stacked under your shoulders. The hands are really open and active. Hang the head. Take a big breath into upper back ribs. Wrap your shoulders, curl your toes. As you exhale, straighten your legs. Immediately, you might lose connection with your hands. Spread them open, push the thumbs, roll them to the outside edge of the mat. Pressing energetically through the whole top of your forearm, not just the elbow. And then really think about what it means to wrap your shoulders, right? Pull the muscles of your armpits around the sides of the ribs. Shake out the head. 3 more breaths. I want you to extend the breaths lengthways so you lift your sit bones up. As you exhale, press into your ball of feet more. Last breath. Open the hands wider. And then very slowly lower the knees, come all the way to the mat. Move the block to one side. And let's turn the forearms over. So you do a complete flip. Grab a handful of bicep and come into traditional dolphin. Reach your breath into upper back ribs, curl the toes, straighten the legs. Dolphin oil rigger to really connect to your core and your pelvic bowl. Put weight into right foot. On a slow inhale, raise the left leg up. It tracks the speed of your breath. And as you exhale, you lower the leg down, scooping your core, hover the foot just above the mat. 2 more. Inhale, raise up. Lift out of your shoulder girdle. Exhale, slowly lower. Feel the core, your center, scoop in. Last one, inhale. Try not to rush, right? Rushing the bits that feel challenging. Slow those down. Bring your foot to the mat. Just kneel down a moment. Let's pause in between. Come all the way up. Just put your hands on your heart center a moment. Let's do a little twist here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, just rotate your torso towards the right. You won't get very far. Feel the upper back muscles activate. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Really small moves, right? Mini. Can you feel in the back body? Inhale, come back. Exhale, twist to the right, really slow. Don't use the neck. What's going on in the upper mid-back area? Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, small twist to the left. And release. Shake out the arms. Back into dolphin. Grab a handful of bicep. Inhale, balloon into the space you just twisted into. What's the difference? Curl the toes, straighten the legs. Place weight in left foot. On a slow inhale, raise the right leg to the ceiling, tracking your inhale. Exhale, scoop the belly, lower the leg to hover. 2 more, inhale. When you reach the right leg up, squeeze the right buttock on. Exhale, lower down, sucking the belly button to ceiling, hang the head. Last one, inhale. Slow, slow, reach higher. Exhale, come all the way down, hover, hover. Knees to mat. Place weight in your hands, step into down dog. Wrap your shoulders. Let's do this as a little option. Put weight into your right hand, release your left hand, take it diagonally underneath you and grab, if possible, the outside edge of your calf or ankle on the right leg. And then take an inhale, lift your bum. And as you exhale, twist, so you pop your gaze, your head through your right armpit. So twisting one-armed down dog. Wow, that's a big one. Breathe up into your core. What's going on in your pelvic bowl? Release the left hand, swap it out. Put weight into left hand, take the right hand off the mat. Diagonally grab your outside edge of calf or ankle on the left leg. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, twist. Pop your head through the left armpit. Shake it out. Feel the sides of the ribs open with your breath. Release, 2 hands on the mat. Step or hop to front of mat. Slowly with soft knees, come up to stand all the way. Ready for your sun salutations. If you need some padding on your mat or you want to turn music on or something, get that going. You will need available possibly a block, maybe the roll later. Tadasana, mountain pose, right? Just as you stand here, put your right hand on the front of your belly, left back of hand on the sacrum, and consciously draw your attention to your center. You notice how stable you feel when you really connect to it, right? What it offers, even in a standing situation where you're just standing. The knitting together of your midline. Oh, really powerful. Hands move back to heart center. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, soften the jaw. Left leg lunges, step behind. Inhale, lift your fingers. Exhale, plank, hands to mat, step back. Take a breath here, lift your belly, tuck tail. Knees lower as you exhale, chest low as modified chaturanga. Low cobra, feel your legs, lift your chest. Exhale, down dog. Lunge, left leg forwards, right knee down. The breath is long and lengthy. Exhale, float to forward fold. Rise up, inhale. Exhale, hands at heart. Let's go again. Inhale, telescope the ribs. Fold forwards all the way down. Right leg lunges, step back. Take a slow breath. Feel for wrapping the shoulders as you press the right foot to the mat. Hands down, plank. Exhale out. Inhale, lift your core, knees, chest lower, all the way down. Low cobra, tuck your tailbone, lift your front ribs. Exhale, down dog. Right leg lunges, step to front of mat. Top of left foot is actively pressing down, fingers energized. Float to forward fold. Come up to stand, noticing your feet pressing into the mat. Exhale, hands at heart. 2 more rounds on your own, right? You know the routine. I want you to just do suns, feeling your breath and really connecting to your core, actually, kind of the middle of you. So you really feel the kind of sense of being grounded as you take these sun salutations. And then you can go at your own speed. You can do the bits, you know, that you like a little slower. Really feel for pressing through the front of the hips as well, right? This connections and finding space in that area. So in your lunges, maybe you go a little deeper. Feel that, right? With the tucking of the tail. Breaths really long. And you're so connected to your breath, it's like a flow of energy. And just stay with yourself, right? Do yourself the courtesy of being present. Feet and hands active. When you've done your 2 rounds, just stand into Tadasana. A lot of you are bathed in sunlight, it's rather nice. Come into chair pose, sink the butt low. Exhale, fold forwards, hang the head. Inhale, halfway lift, long flat back. Step or hop to plank. Take a really big breath in plank and feel particularly connected to your core and your pelvic bowl, right? The lifting up of all the super strong abdominals. We're feeling that sense of really scooping into ourselves. Slowly lower the knees, lower the chest, modified chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra, tops of feet are active, squeeze your bum. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot forwards, warrior 2. Front foot straight, back foot comes to 90 degrees. Come into eagle arms, so have the arms forward. Wrap your left arm on top of right and then double wrap. Lift your elbows to below chin height, shoulders go down, they wrap, you press the forearms away from the face. And this is what's going to happen. You're breathing into upper back ribs, but in order to support the pose, you need to connect to your center, right? You need the stability of it. What does the space just below your belly button feel like right now? How conscious are you of it? What would happen if you kind of thought about the space, breathed into it, and found some kind of real sense of support right there? Emu, take a long inhale, lengthen the belly. As you exhale, forward fold with your eagle arms. Get to a certain point, you inhale again, popping the chest forwards. Hinging at the hips, hang your whole torso down the midline of your warrior 2 legs. Shake out the back of the head if it's tight. If your inner thighs are a little tight, microbend the right knee, that's okay. Now place your breaths in the upper back, right? This lovely sensation of softening through the back of the heart center. Sliding some of the hard, crappy bits off the top of your shoulders. And then unravel your arms, straighten the front leg, do a little foot reset for straddle forward fold. We're going to move into flank stretch. So you're facing the long edge of your mat, just hang down. Take your left hand diagonally underneath you. Done a few of these today. Grab the outside edge of your right calf or ankle. And then rather than twist, draw your left hip back. So there is a twist, but it pulls into the side of the body. Right hand has options, either on top of the left hand on the ankle or pressing into the mat in front of the right foot. Hang the head, maybe it's softly resting in the bicep of your left arm. And feel for arcing, and it really is an arc, your breath into left side ribs. From hip to armpit, draw yourself into a side bend. And I really want you to feel your breaths, right? Part of connecting to the middle of you, the pelvic bowl, is having space in the sides of the body to do this. It's really tight here. Open up your sides with your breath. Slowly come out of the pose. Walk your hands back towards the left foot. Turn it to face forwards. Step back into down dog. Pedal out your feet in down dog. Wrap your elbows around an imaginary beach ball and hang the head. Step your right foot forwards, warrior two, eagle arms. Front foot straight, back foot 90 degrees. Take the arms in front of you, eagle on the right side, double wrap. Shoulder blades glide down as you press your forearms away from the face. And you concentrate on not collapsing in the center of yourself, right? Really think about this. Space behind the belly button, where's the power, right? Manipura chakra, it's like your second chakra, it's so powerful. It's all about connecting to your roots, to finding your true kind of version. Forward fold, take a breath. As you exhale, hang yourself down. Long back, deepening the right knee bend. You're in warrior two legs. So the hip, guess what, gets a full rinse out. Shoulder blades slide off the back body because they're free floating. You let them slide and you let the tension slide. Shake out the head. You lower your hips and deepen your right knee bend. Breathe really deeply into that stretch. Take a slow breath in. Lift your front ribs away from the belly button forwards and then refold. Ooh, more space. Unravel the arms. Straighten the front leg. That'll be a relief. Slightly pigeon your toes, facing the long edge of the mat, hang down. Right hand diagonally underneath you grabs outside edge of left calf or ankle. Pull your right hip back. It's as if your bum is stuck to a flat surface. Take your left hand onto the mat or place it on top of the right hand. And then pull the tip of your right elbow towards the floor for extra. Head hangs, breathe into right side of the body. A big C shape. Two more really slow breaths. What can you get out of this pose when you get out of your head, right? When you're really with yourself here. What do you want to let go of? You know, there's always some kind of little shitty thought which is really worth not having. Come out of this, walk your hands to frame the right foot, step back into plank. Take a breath in plank, lift your belly. Exhale, knees, chest, all the way down. Inhale, low cobra, a long breath to super lengthen the front belly. Exhale, down dog. Left leg, warrior one, steps forward. Rise up, hands on hips, square yourself off. Feel for pressing through the back leg as you tuck your tail. Take an interlace of hands, open your chest. Really feel for the broadening of the sort of collarbones. They widen across you. Take a long inhale through the front of your body. As you exhale, humble your warrior, forward fold. Glide your torso to inner edge of left thigh. Head hangs. Rinse out the shoulders, lifting your clasped hands towards the ceiling. If you can't reach your arms up because your shoulders are tight, this is okay, right? But now just think about the head of your shoulders, both of them, and lift them away from the floor. So you squeeze your shoulder blades together. That does the same work. Actively reaching towards the ceiling. Shake out the head. In space, slightly draw your right hip forwards, left hip back. Ooh, a little more. Arms release, come all the way down. Pigeon, sternum to ankle. Pick up your left foot and move it to the right side of the mat. And then roll onto your left buttock, right? So you're a bit lopsided. And this left shin leg is being placed parallel to top edge of mat at a right angle. Walk the back leg in or out, your choice, right? You feel a little off. Two hands grab the top of the left foot. You've got a hold of the sole, and then lift your belly forwards. And then slowly fold towards the ankle. Maybe the left elbow comes to the mat. Crown of head softens. Your center is soft, right? It's soft, but the pelvic bowl is being opened up here because the hips are getting rinsed out, and this feels like you're creating space for yourself. The front of your left hip, your hip flexor. Think about what's going on there. I mean, it's deeply kind of sort of embedded in the fold of your hip, but can you let it soften? You say to yourself, I'm going to soften my left hip flexor. Ooh, so much space. Slowly come out. Draw your left heel towards the middle of the mat. Come onto two hands. Step very slowly into down dog. Pedal out the feet. Right foot, warrior one, step it forwards. Inhale, come all the way up. Straighten off the hip, right? Draw the left hip forwards. Take an interlace of hands. Do the opposite interlace, open the chest. Where's your breath? Get it back. Lift through the front of your center point. As you exhale, fold forwards with a long flat back. Don't rush this bit, right? Explore what it feels like. Maybe take an additional inhale halfway, pop the chest, and then fold again. Arms rinse. Shoulders, in any event, lift away from the floor, shoulder heads. Hang the head, no neck tension. Draw your left hip forwards, right hip back in space. Oh, that's a bit more juicy. Hang out in the top. The top of your skull is like shaking itself to the ground. Release the hands, lower the left knee. Grab your right foot, set up for pigeon, sternum to ankle. Place your right shin rather, parallel to the top short edge of the mat. You're resting on your right buttock. It's okay, back leg in or out. So this one would be in or out. Two hands grab the sole of the foot. Use this to kind of pull your center towards your right thigh. And then as you exhale, fold forward, sternum to ankle. Hang the head, feel for, it's really interesting here because you can be very tense in the shoulders and the upper back. Could you let that go? It's all about the hip, right? Swirl your breath around the hip, front, back, side. Hip flexor, let's go. You let go. Let go of something. And then slowly come back up. Move your right foot to the middle of the mat. Step back into down dog. And then bring your knees to the mat. I would really like to do half frog over the roll because for me, this is the ultimate kind of feeling into your center pose. You will need the roll and you might need your mat. You might need to come onto your mat lengthways like this. So you've got space at the sides to rest your knees on, if that makes sense. So this is what it looks like. And you could use a folded up cushion or a blanket instead of the roll. You're basically going to lie over the roll, and I'm showing you what it would look like if you had an aerial view. One leg is in frog, and the other leg will be straight out behind you. But I'm going to be flat on the mat, so it looks like it's hard to see with the camera angle. I extend the right leg back. I lie over the roll, like that, right? So it's a little awkward. The positioning of the roll, it's obviously in the fleshy part of the belly. I had my left leg out there. It doesn't matter which leg you've got out, you're going to swap anyway, right? You've got to let the roll in. And it feels really good, good in inverted commas, to have the roll with the leg that's straight, have the roll kind of very much in the inner edge of that hip crest of the straight leg. So you've got your left leg out, the roll is really pressing into the space to the inside edge of your right hip crest. It's getting right into your iliac psoas. Turn your cheek to one side, close your eyes and breathe. And let your center be massaged and softened by the roll. There is a real part of this which is about letting go. So use your exhales wisely. Maybe accompanied by a sigh out. There's just such a big opportunity on the exhale to just, right, to do that. I mean, it's a physical thing, but it's also an emotional kind of discharge of stuff. Jaw is relaxed, right? Let the roll do its work. If you let it in, it will do the work. And very slowly press up because we're just going to swap, right? It's a little awkward. You have to sort of come back onto your knees. Maybe straightening the left leg then, if that was the one you had in frog. Come into frog on the right side. Just glance at your right knee if that's the one. It's come straight out of the hip and everything's at right angles. There's a tendency to have it lower than the hip or higher. That's not quite it. You lie over the roll, feel like you're scooping out some space to the inner edge of your left hip crest. Two more slow breaths, right? What can you allow in these breaths for yourself? And then very gently move your hands under your shoulders. Press slightly awkwardly up and roll immediately onto your backs for Shavasana. Get all the props that you need. Find a position that's good, legs up the wall, or maybe a bolster. Legs open and extended. Quite nice before you get completely involved to just place one hand, maybe two hands on the low belly. And just breathe into it. What does it feel like? Pathway, the breath pathway is so much clearer now, right? So much more possibility to reach this space with your mind, with your breath. And you made a connection. to very slowly deepen your breaths. Bring movement into your hands and your feet. And then place your hands back on your belly and just take a breath into that space. A real connection that's been made. Exhale out. Arms reach above you, toes reach away. Take the breath through the front line of the body. And then hug your knees close. Exhale out, a little roll side to side. Extend your right arm up above you and roll onto your right side. And just pause. Claire, if it doesn't feel good on that side, do the other side. Keep the eyes shut. Surrender is a deeply misunderstood concept. It's perceived as a weakness. But in fact, surrender is one of the bravest, most lucid things a human can ever do. Surrender everything that no longer serves you. In that way, you'll create space for new energies to enter. New beginnings, new possibilities. Very gently press up to seated. Take a really slow breath, right from your center, like reach it through you. Soft exhale out. That which is sacred in me honors and salutes that which is sacred in you. Namaste. Well done, everyone. Brilliant.